All right, welcome everyone to our very first fireside chat. We were doing these like way back years ago, and they were a lot of fun. And the world just got busier, and we kind of stopped doing them. But it's kind of like the cozy season. We were just talking about Christmas and the holidays, so we thought we would bring them back. And what I personally like about this format is that it's way more casual. It's between a few people, and it's more like a conversation and still like telling your story and telling a little bit about yourself, but I find it in a more fun way. So I have the honor tonight to be one of the hosts. So I am Jenna MacQuarrie, and the other mom that I'll be chatting with tonight is also Jenna Bolton. So it might get a little bit confusing because you have the two Jennas tonight. But we thought we would kick off this series because we're actually in a similar season, and you'll hear us talk about seasons tonight because honestly, we've both been through a lot of different seasons in our bond business. And funny enough, we both have like an older son, stepson, who is very busy, and we'll both touch on that. But we also both have little kids that also keeps us very busy. So we have that kind of variety range, whatever you want to call it, in our life that keeps us both busy. And we're both at the VP level, which is the third level. So I'm going to kick it off. And again, it's going to be very casual. We're going to be chatting back and forth. But Jenna, why don't you kick it off by kind of walking us through and giving people an idea of what does your day to day, your day in the life looks like for you right now in this season of life?
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm the other Jenna. So it's nice to meet you and see all these wonderful faces. Thanks for joining us tonight. This is super casual, like Jenna said. But yeah, no. So some of the stuff we may say is like going to be super relatable to you. And so if you have like a tug at your heart, if you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is like something that I think I need to do, like listen to those tugs. Okay. I just want to like put that in the like forefront. But yeah, so this season of life that I'm in right now is I have a 1 year old and I have an 8 year old. Okay, so I have a big age gap. And with that age gap comes a lot of like, I have to be there with my older son and here with my little guy and all over the place. And I feel like time is just a thief. And I literally, the days go by and I don't even know where the time goes. So my oldest son plays like pretty high level hockey and he plays a lot of hockey. So practices during the week, I have to sometimes I leave my younger one at home with my husband while I take my other son. And so if you can kind of like relate to that, like whole running around, living out of your car, packing snacks for after school pickup so that they can eat before they have hockey and then they, go get groceries and come home and all those things. If you can relate to that, then maybe this call is for you specific moms. But yeah, so right now I just find like little pockets of time to work my business, which when I say that, you might think like, okay, okay, so how do you actually run a business working 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there? I work in my car while I'm waiting for my son to get picked up from school. I'm very intentional with my time. So when I go out, I'm talking to people about Arbonne at the rink. I'm taking samples with me everywhere I go. I'm drinking my tea. I'm drinking my fizz everywhere I go. I'm like a walking billboard. And so that right there is how I allow myself to talk about the business while I'm on the go, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the season I'm in. It is busy. And of course, with the Christmas season approaching, it just gets even more complex and more to do and all the things. But I always just relate, like I was just kind of go back to like, why am I working my business? Why do I want this? And it is very important to me. So I always keep that in like my forefront wherever I'm going. I know that this business has given me so much, so I want to help other people live like this beautiful journey that I've lived. So that's kind of the day in the life of my life currently, my
Yeah,
season.
I totally relate. And I'll elaborate a little bit on Jenna's and kind of what my day in the life look like. I also have a stepson. He's also in hockey, so you nailed it right there with like the practice. So that's where they're gone tonight. So I was home with my little ones. I do. It's funny because we were sharing this business opportunity last week, and I don't even like to say that I do Arbonne full time now because I don't sit there and do Arbonne 40 hours a week as if like when I was working for the corporate world, right? And that's not the intent of really sharing this business opportunity or wanting somebody to do this with us. Even though that I do this full time, similar to Jenna, my life is very busy as well. There's, lots of appointments, and I won't go in details with my health, but over the last 3 years, I'm very blessed that I said yes to Arbonne, 6 years ago, because it has allowed me to focus on my health and do all the medical appointments. And same for my two kids and my stepson as well. It has allowed me to be a very present mom. So for me right now, like what a day in the life look like, they vary, but it's often, like getting the kids ready for school. Once they're gone, like I do a lot of the house stuff around the house, but I also have a lot of appointments still. And it's nice that I get to, like I was telling Jenna, like there's some days that I'm not home at all, and I still can work my Arbonne business very similar to Jenna. So if I'm running some errands, you'll often find me, like if you were local to me, you would often, and I actually had some moms tell me, they're like, not Jenna parked the parking before daycare for 10 minutes before picking up the kids. And I'm like, oh, like yeah, that was me. So finding those like little 10 minutes has also really helped me. So sometimes in the grocery store, like I'll pack the groceries in the car and I'll be there an extra 5 minutes. I'll answer a few messages. And like tonight, right? So kids are in bed. I'm on here talking like with you guys, and I really don't mind it. Like I actually always look forward to it. But my life right now looks very different than it did when I started 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. Like it really has been, like Arbonne has been with me through so many different seasons of life. And I know it's just like that for you too, Jenna. Um, so maybe like, do you want to elaborate on that? And then I'll share a little bit about like how it has impacted me so much and like the different seasons of life. So why don't you talk a little bit about like when you first said yes? Obviously, we're both at the VP level. That's the top 2% of Arbonne earnings at arbonne.com for what's typical. But we were definitely, I can probably attest, in a very much like hustle mode. We didn't have babies or little kids that we were like raising. We had obviously, a stepson, but a baby and toddlers is very different. So I'll pause there and I'll let you elaborate on that, and then I'll kind of come back in as well.
Yeah, so this is good to know for the people that are actually like sitting here contemplating whether to do this and like if they have the time, or maybe you're going through like I'll tell you, okay, so I started my urban business 10 years ago. Okay, so really long time ago. And I've been a VP for 6 years. So, I've been around and I know how these businesses work, and I know all the things that people can go through, high lows, up valleys, peaks, all the things.
Mhm.
When I joined this business, I actually work full time for the government as well, but I'm currently on mat leave because I have a 1 year old. So I had like a really good job. I do still have a really good job. And I was a huge skeptic. I was like rolling my eyes when the person who is now my sponsor asked me to hear about this business. I was like, I don't need to sell lipstick. I don't know what you're trying to do here, but like I'm a no and no. And so I thought I was kind of too good for one of these kinds of businesses, but turns out I actually needed this business more than I even thought. So I was going through this like 10, 8, 9, 10 years ago, I was going through a separation. And I had my son, who's now 8, and I was in a really, really rough like part of my life. Okay. So like probably the worst time of my life ever. So if you're tuning in and you are going through that right now, I feel you, I see you, and it is a battle, but it does get better. So what I did to distract myself was I leaned into my Arbonne business. And when I leaned into my Arbonne business, I was like on a spiritual journey as well. I was like praying every day. I was running. I was trying to be so healthy. I was on calls. I was coaching other people. I was just like pouring into myself and my team. And with that, with all that hard work comes reward. And that's where we were rewarded because I was working so hard. It was maybe the hustle culture at that time. I don't really know what you want to call it, but I was literally, so because we were going through a separation, I had to like share my son, of course, with the custody arrangement. So when I didn't have Pearson, I obviously didn't have my 1 year old back then. I had a lot of time. So I'm going to be really transparent with you. I did have a lot of time to work my business, and I was very, very like, I like how shitty my life felt at the moment. So grateful that I had my son and all of those things, but like going through a separation does just like it can destroy you to your core, and you have to rebuild yourself. So I just poured myself into my business, had more time, and I like yeah, I was working full time for the government and going region at the same time, and it was very, very like it was a lot. But do I regret it? Absolutely not. I would do it again in a heartbeat because I've built like a legacy business and I've built a really strong business. Hence why I'm still a regional vice president 6 years later, 10 years later, still in this business, still talking to you today, loving it, like would never regret my journey. So
I love that. I love that so much. I feel like I knew your story, but maybe I didn't. So that's yeah, okay. So I have a little bit of a different story than Jenna, but still very similar from like the fact that yeah, my life looked very much different when I said yes to Arbonne. I did have a newborn baby though. So I was a brand new mom. I was on maternity leave and I did have, my hands full of this cute little baby. But I also had a lot of time, right? Like I was home. This was the first time ever in my life that I wasn't working not only one job but multiple jobs at a time. So I would like to say, similar to Jenna, that I did have a lot of time to work my Arbonne business, and I was very like passionate about it, and I was, putting a lot more hours back then building it than I probably am now, even doing it full time. But I look at that first year when I was on maternity leave with my son, building my Arbonne business, and similar to Jenna, I wouldn't take back any of it because again, same as Jenna, like 6 years in my business, we still have, a thriving business. I have very loyal clients, and I knew that those late nights and those early mornings and like the hustle and just the working hard would be so worth it. And like it has been incredibly worth it. So again, like if you're in that season, and that, that is your goal or that's what you want, or you want more income, you want the community, like you want to build something that is meaningful, like it can be you. So that's when I started. I was, working really hard and I still work really hard. It just looks different, very similar to like, Jenna, because we're just in a different season right now. But that yes to Arbonne back then, I really didn't know necessarily maybe why I was doing this or what was pulling me towards it. Obviously, I love the products. Like I had like probably 100 products in my home as a client. But other than that, I was like, similar to Jenna, I had a really good corporate job, very good salary. I was like I had people coming in being like, "Oh, like what products are you using?" And I was gladly sending them off to my consultant because I was like, "I don't want to be any part of this, that whatever you're doing, like not for me." But little did I know, like I really was craving exactly what Arbonne had to offer. And once I said yes, it was like, what had I been waiting all this time, right? Um, so yeah, over the last, 6 years, I've had two children back to back. Arbonne has always been there. I've been on, two maternity leaves. I've also worked my Arbonne business working full time with babies on my hips, a toddler and a baby. And in the last 3 years, I've been able to focus on my health and really heal myself and everyone in the Arbonne community, people not even directly, on my team, clients, consultants, just have been so incredible and helpful. And it's just, I don't know, I could go on and on, but it's such a positive community to be a part of. So yeah, like
Jenna,
just, yeah, go in.
can I just add one thing? So
Yep.
if you're sitting here and you're like, okay, well, I don't have young kids, like my kids are out the door, like they're older, they go to school, I have the day to myself. This is the time you want to build your business. Like
Mm-hmm.
you need to dig deep and build your business now because you want to plan for that what if. You want
Mm-hmm.
to plan for health scares down the road, God forbid, taking care of parents, just like
Mm-hmm.
build it now. And if you're a student listening into this call right now, build it now. You don't have kids
Mm-hmm.
yet. You're going to school, you can still work this business in on the side. Literally those people that I just talked about, you need to build, like, you need to build now. This is what you build. You build to have a legacy business. You build for residual income. If you don't know what residual income is, look it up, because I promise you, if you build it now, 5 years down the road, you're an RVP or an NVP, and your paychecks are like, you're gonna thank yourself for building back when you had the time.
I love that. It's so true. Heather said it in the chat for those listening to the recording because they won't be able to see the chat. Build it when you don't need it so that when you do need it, you have it. And it's so true. And for anybody that's been around for a while, we've been at so many conferences and trainings, and we've heard so many incredible, inspiring stories of, exactly that. You might not know why you said yes or why you were building it so big until that impact hit. And then you were like, wow, it all makes sense. And I'm so grateful for our bond. So absolutely love that, Jenna. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit. Like what, well, we've touched on it a little bit, but why would someone want to do something like Arbonne? Or I know you've touched on the residual income, which is obviously, a no-brainer. We're in 2025. Like, who doesn't want more money? It's not, that's my dishwasher there. Sorry. It does a little song. Dee, dee. But yeah, so that's one point. But there's so much more. So why would somebody want to do Arbonne?
So you just touched on it. So it's one, for the money. Okay, I'm
Hmm.
just gonna be like straight up with you. I'm not gonna like dance around and be like, oh, I can't. Like, you join to make extra money.
Hmm.
Like, that is one of the main reasons why I joined this business, because I wanted to make extra money. I want to live an extraordinary life. I joke with one of the girls on my team when we're always at like home center, like grabbing a Starbucks during the day, or we're out just like getting our nails done. And like, that is the life for me. So if that's the
So
life
true.
you want to live too, I'm just like being super transparent. If you want nice things, if you want to travel, if you want to take your family places, if you want to say yes to everything, like, that's why you join
Hmm.
this business. It's to have that extraordinary life. So maybe you have a really good job right now. Maybe you want a little bit more. And that's why you join. The other thing is, sometimes we get into these, like, if you're having kids and if you lose yourself a little bit, you need something to like, that's yours.
Hmm.
And I didn't join Arbonne feeling like I needed something else, but it turns out, like, after being in Arbonne for a while, I'm like, I actually have my own business, and I
Hmm.
have my own office, and I help clients, and I help my consultants on my team, and I'm building leaders, and I'm taking on a leadership role, and I feel like I have my own little, like, something for me. Like, like, your husband might have his thing, your kids have their things. Maybe you lose yourself a little bit and you're like, I need something for me. So, something for yourself just to be proud about, and then to make extra money, like,
Hmm.
period.
Yeah, I love that. And at the time, I didn't know why I was saying yes, but I was 6 weeks postpartum with a newborn, and I felt lost. I was like, who am I? Well, I'm just a mom. Like, I've worked since I've been 13. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is not just a mom. Like, it's a fulfilling role. But again, I was lost, right? And then insert Arbonne, and you start working on your own health and, you know, becoming the better version of yourself. And all of a sudden, you're helping others, you're helping clients and consultants. And like you said, it's just absolutely incredible. And you meet people that you build friendships and just the community. So yeah, like the money, the friend, the community, the impact you can have on others. Like there's just so many incredible reasons. And listen, Arbonne's not for everyone, but I would almost guarantee that there's probably something Arbonne has to offer that is for everyone. So okay, we're doing good. What would you tell someone who's thinking about it but scared to take that 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 plunge or whatever you want to call it? And I was that, guys. I took 14 months to say yes, even though I was in love with all the products. So I wish somebody would have taken the time. I mean, I love my upline. I love her. But I wish somebody would have told me these things, right? So what would you tell somebody that's thinking about it?
So, honestly, you have nothing to lose. you really have nothing to lose and quite a bit to gain. So I would just tell, like, I know it's one of those hard things that you have to contemplate and you think about, and you're given samples and you throw them in a drawer and you don't try them. And then you feel bad when they ask you again. You're like, oh God, I guess I should try those samples. And you get them out and you try them and then you fall in love with the products. But I'm telling you, all you're going to gain by starting an Arbonne business is glowy skin. Like, who doesn't want glowy skin? Better health, like your gut health improves, your everything. You're using luxury wellness products. You're filling your home with them and you're sharing them with other people, and you can make money. So you're gaining glowing skin, extra money, and you're like your vibe is different. You're happier. You're like, that's the worst that's gonna happen. You're not gonna lose your house. You're not gonna you don't invest money. It's not like that. Okay. Like literally, it's not like that. So that's what I would say that. And then two, you don't have to be an expert. Okay. Like, I'm a hot mess. I don't know where anything is. When someone asks me for like, oh, where's that? Like, I'm like, it's somewhere on the source. Like, go get the resource. You know where to find it. It's all good. Like, I just like, I don't operate that way. That's just not how I am. So you don't need to be like, reading the ingredients and being like, well, Karen, there's none of that. Okay. Like, you can join and you don't have to know anything about anything. You also have people like your sponsors and people like your sidelines and all that stuff that can help you answer questions. So if like someone asks you a question, like a potential client, about the skincare and like an ingredient, just say like, yeah, no worries. I'll get right back to you about that. And just then go ask someone. Like, you really don't have to be an expert. So like, take the pressure off and just, yeah, like it could change your life. Joining Arbonne could change your life.
Mhm. I love that. It's so true. I literally, like, I've had some calls last week sharing this business opportunity, and I was like, the world will not crash if you say yes and like nothing happens with your business. Let's say you join as an Arbonne consultant and you do not get one single order, the world goes on. Like, literally no one will even know. And like you said, you're probably gonna end up with glowing skin and like a box of fizz, right? So I always say like you have nothing to lose and you nailed it. That's so true. And I wish somebody would have told me that when I already was loving the product. So if you're listening tonight and you have had that little tug on your heart, or you're scared, you have hesitations, you have concerns, I promise you, we all did at some point, and I can almost like 99% say that nobody on here or that I've ever met was a I'm all in right away. Like, what do you mean? This opportunity? Like, I'm in. Like, I don't even have questions. I don't even have concerns. Like, that doesn't happen. So like, you are normal if you have some, and just know that we were all there. Like, we were all scared that people weren't going to support us or that people were going to judge us. That was me. I was like, I don't want to be that girl. And then all of a sudden I say yes, and I'm like, oh no, I want to be that girl. Like, I want to be the girl that, success and the paychecks and help others and has an impact. Um, so yeah, you nailed it. I absolutely love that. If you have further questions, again, tonight's not meant to be a proper DA, more so a casual chat between two very busy moms. And we will be having another fireside chats in 2 Mondays from now, and we will hear from different consultants. So mark your calendar, same time, 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. I know there's so many different time zones going around, but we appreciate you guys. And if you're catching the recording and you have any questions for the person that invited you, the consultant that asked you to hop on here, ask those questions, because like, questions that you don't ask are just unanswered, and they might just be the clarification that you need. So I hope everyone has a great end of their day, evening, depending where you are, and we will see you guys in a few weeks. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.